Okay, let's have a practice of solving some equations that have one step. So remember to read our question, and it says solve each of the equations algebraically. So 3 words tell me here, solve. Solve for algebra means I'm figuring out what the pronumeral is for the equation, and it tells me algebraically. Or I could also say, my old Thanos will tell you to use the balance method. All right, that's what it means. And the balance method is just doing the same thing to both sides. So let's go. Step 1, write out your equation. What are the actions that are happening to the pronumeral? I even like to write them out on the side in a different color. My pronumeral is x, and the action that is happening to it is a multiply by 5. Therefore, I have to do the opposite. And remember, I write my instructions in square brackets. Divide by 5 both sides. Remember, addition and subtraction are opposites, and multiplication and division are opposites. And it has to be the same number, and I have to do it to both sides. The next thing I do, exact same procedure. I'm writing my equals sign in a row, and I'm writing it out with a little bit of a gap. The next step, same that we know, we're writing the equal sign, and we're writing out our equation again. We're adding in our new operation in a different color is a good idea. Then our third step is always to solve. So 5x divided by 5, well, that's 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1x, I can just write x. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. Now my goal is to solve the algebraic equation. And this, so solving means the pronumeral by itself telling me what the pronumeral is equal to. And this tells me that x is equal to 6. But I always have to check. So I'm going to write the words check. Now I would do it underneath, but obviously I'm running out of space. And I'm writing left-hand side, and I'm writing what's on the left-hand side, which is 5x, and I'm writing right-hand side, and that is 30. Now I take my value for x, which is 6, and I replace it into the equation. 5 times 6. What is 5 times 6? That is 30. Are they both the same? Yes, I'm going to write, therefore, x equals 6. You need to do this working out, okay? You have to show this, and you have to show a check. It will be a part of the questions that you are given. We need to show that once we've figured out an answer algebraically, that we know how to check we are correct. Let's do B. First step, write out the equation. 17 equals y take 21. Now, what is happening to y? At the moment, y is having take 21. So I'm going to do the opposite. Opposite of take is plus. Plus 21 on both sides. I'm going to rewrite out the equation. 17 y take 21 plus 21 on both sides. Now I'm going to figure it out. 17 plus 21, 7 plus 1 is 8, 2 plus 1 is 3. Now I've got minus 21 plus 21. They kind of cancel each other out because it equals 0. I don't have to write 0. All I have left is the y. Now, if you're doing it correctly and you're picking the correct action, that should happen a lot. The things should cancel out, making that disappear so that your pronumeral is kind of becoming by itself. My pronumeral is by itself, so I think I'm done, but I'm first going to do my check. My check. I'm writing left-hand side, which is 17. I'm writing right-hand side, which is y take 21, and my y is 38. So I'm writing 38 take 21. 8 take 1 is 17, and I am correct. Now that may seem pretty easy because it's one step, but we need to get into the habit of checking. And I'm writing therefore y equals 38. See, I swapped them. It was 38 equals y, but if I remember from my equivalent equations lesson, I can swap them around because it doesn't actually change the value. So I like to write my pronumeral first. And lastly, let's do C. 10 equals q divided by 3. What is the action that is happening? It's being divided by 3. So I'm going to do the opposite. Opposite of divide is times by 3 on both sides. I'm writing it out again. 10 q divided by 3. Now this is times by 3. Now note on this side, the whole thing is being times by 3. Okay, we have to multiply everything on that side by 3, not just the 3 or not just the 9. So I'm timesing by 3 for the whole thing. And if you want to add brackets, you can, but putting it to the side, not underneath, means the whole thing is being times by 3. Now I'm simplifying. 10 times 3 is 30. Now, divide by 3 times by 3, they kind of cancel each other out, because any number I have and I divide it by 3 and then I multiply it by 3, it's going to go back to the original number. So all I have left is q. And I'm going to do my check. And my check is left-hand side equals 10, right-hand side equals q divided by 3. And my q, I think, is 30. So 30 divided by 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. And that is correct. They're both 10. Therefore, q equals 30. So that is how we do one-step equations. You have a go at doing some, making sure you're following your 3 steps and doing your check. Let's quickly go through the answers. A, 10a equals 30. Now, the action that's happening to A is multiply by 10. So I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide by 10 on both sides. I'm going to write out my equation. 10a equals 30, and I'm going to add in the action. Divide by 10, divide by 10. Now I'm going to simplify. 10 divided by 10 is 1, so I have 1a left all by itself. I've got 30 divided by 10 is 3. A equals 3. I'm going to do a quick check. Left-hand side is 10a, right-hand side is 30. I think that a is 3, so 10 times 3. 10 times 3 is 30. They are both 30. Therefore, a equals 3. Let's do B. 23 equals 19 plus x. The action happening to x is plus 19. Now I'm going to do the opposite. Plus is the opposite of take away. So I'm doing take 19 on both sides. I'm writing 23. I'm writing 19 plus x. I'm adding in the operation that I'm doing, which is take 19. Now I'm simplifying. 23 take away 19 is 4. 19 take away 19, they cancel out, leaving me with just an x behind. I think that x is equal to 4, but I'm going to do a quick check. My left-hand side is 23. My right-hand side is 19 plus x. I think that x is 4. 19 plus 4 is 23, and therefore I have got it correct. Therefore, x equals 4. Last one is C. 7 equals y divided by 4. My action happening to my pronumeral is divide by 4. So I'm going to times by 4 on both sides. I'm going to write out my equation again. And I'm going to add in my action. Times by 4, times by 4. 7 times 4 is 28. And divide by 4, times by 4 cancels. So all I have left is y equals 28. I'm going to check that. My left-hand side is 7. My right-hand side is y divided by 4. I think y is 28, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. Therefore, I've gotten that correct. Y equals 28.